Qatar and how they won this tender.
This one is a tricky one.
My brothers and sisters, if you've watched that documentary on Netflix, I go tricking yana, go FIFA.
Being gay in Qatar is like is illegal.
Yeah.
But it's not just Qatar. There are other countries. 1 in 4 countries that are participating in the World Cup have banned homosexuality in their own countries. So if we're gonna attack Qatar, we just keep the same energy and make sure that everybody who's involved, we say Ghana, we see you too.
Yeah.
We've forgotten about you.
How are you going to bid for it and you know that the world is full of fiends and then you don't want those fiends to come to your country, but you're gonna say no, we're the ones who are gonna host it. You can't open up your doors and then give people restrictions.
Because I saw things like, I don't know if there's a poster that said no dating, no alcohol.
So apparently you can't go into a hotel unless you are married. So you can't go into a hotel. You're thinking you've gotten a nice sneaky link for the night. No, they're going to prosecute you for that. Number 1. Number 2, for me, it's very tricky because we all know that the World Cup sponsor. Alcohol sponsor is Bantwini. Yeah. They've been the alcohol sponsor for the World Cup for the past, I don't know how many years. This is awkward now. They also found out, weirdly, like 2 days before the World Cup.
But they didn't like it.
Okay, tricky. Now how are they going to sell, if they're the sponsor, at a country that's not allowing alcohol? They even posted, they were like, well, this is awkward.
Like we on the poster. We on the poster.
It's us.
It's us. This is us. Yeah.
What up? Welcome to another hot episode of the POPcast. My name is Ms. Cosmo, and of course I'm rolling with my main man, Bucci.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another dope episode. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. And today is actually our final episode for this year. We are taking a bit of a break just for December time, just to relax and kick up the feet. But it's not to say that POPcast isn't coming back. We will obviously POPcast itself will be back in January, but we will keep you entertained with a couple of pop radio episodes. Absolutely. So for today's final episode for 2022, our guests, give it up for my speeder.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
So I just made it. I literally just at the end of the year and just figure out,
I've won.
And how special are you? You know what I mean? To make sure that we close it off right.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. Shout outs to you. All right, so before we get into all of the festivities, we do also have to kind of pay our respects to DJ somebody who we lost this past week, unfortunately, in an event where he was driving on Woodmead, I think just close to a news cafe, and was gunned down. And quite unfortunate that the circumstances landed up that way because he was such a bubbly guy. One of those people who understood the game, understood how to push things forward, and was always willing to kind of break bread with people. The fact that he knew his venues needed a lot of his peers for them to work in his venues was really awesome. At his events, he understood how to push people. So definitely a loss to the game, and RIP to DJ Somebody, and condolences to his family.
Absolutely, man. Very, very sad. Very, very tragic. As I'm sure a lot of you at home now know about his passing. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things that happens and it's like a movie or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The brutality behind it, the severity is just, it's very hard to comprehend the amount of violence that I'm sure his parents and family are finding it very difficult to wrap their heads around. But we do wish them, or rather send them condolences and of course hope for justice. Because a terrible, terrible crime was committed. It wasn't just him, himself and his bodyguard slash friend as well who was with him. So we do hope that justice does get served here and that the people who are responsible for their murder do get brought to justice, man. So condolences to his friends, his family, his colleagues. We can go on and on about as a guy, the mayor of Pretoria is known. You know what I'm saying?
Pitori, you know. No, RIP to him. I think this year we've lost quite a few, of our stars, and everybody has good things to say about him, like everything. So RIP to him and his family.
Yeah, and that also kind of makes me sit back and think, like 2022 has actually been quite scary because, like at the top of the year, it was Ricky. It was Dimples. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So for us, I think that's definitely a sore point for us here at the POPcast, but also just generally in the music industry as a culture, for us to be losing people so often is mind blowing. And I think
I also lost a brother this year.
Yes, with Dumikladi as well. So it's definitely just heartbreaking for us to sit back and say how many people we've lost and how we've lost them. Pearl Shongwe obviously was somebody as well who just recently we lost in the entertainment industry, and I think just people need to just look after each other. I think that's just the one thing we can say, because you don't see these things when they're coming. Obviously, it's not something that was intentional for DJ somebody, but just look out for each other, look out for your mental health, look out for the spaces that you go to, the people that you interact with. Just, there's nothing else to say besides, just look out for each other. I think that's the one thing that we can kind of do on this one. And hopefully 2023 will be a little bit better and will be,
I hope so. I hope we're going to look back and honor all these people's memories that we said that we've lost. And 2023 can be a better year for people, because the music industry has suffered quite a lot this year. And it's right off the back of COVID, straight into all these tragedies this year. It just feels like it's been like a difficult 3 years.
Yeah.
So hope that 2023 is a bit lighter on the for the industry as a whole.
Yeah. So some good news coming through from the industry perspective. We do have Madjozi performing out at Madison Square Garden. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think I actually even went to go back and check. The other South African female artists who've performed out there, I think, are only Miriam Makeba as a female.
Yes.
And then Lady Smith, Black Mambazo. They're the only South Africans. I could be wrong, there definitely are more, but to be in that caliber of people, I don't think there's anybody younger in her generation who's performed at such a big arena. Sold out stage.
Sold out.
3 days.
Ooh.
Big ups to, she is a supporting actor for Stromae, but just for her to be on that stage, to be in that space.
Listen,
absolutely amazing.
Just to be on the stage, Nje, I promise you, since you're saying there's only 3.
There could be more. Please, I could be correct.
No, but if it's more, it's not more than that. Not too much more.
But Dala as represents as a show. Honestly, big up to her. Big up to her. She's been representing us for a long time. In the international space, especially.
Yeah. Nah, she's doing very, very well. And she took a little bit of a break. She had a bit of a hiatus. She was quiet. She was changing things around. She spoke about management and a few issues here and there, and just generally wanted to, because she was busy at some point. So I'm guessing she took all the pedal. And it's great to see somebody who can control their career that way. None of the people get the privilege of taking your foot off the gas and relaxing and then coming back and then already full speed ahead here in Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody that you can tell at least is surrounded by some people who are forward thinking that are able to do best by her. So shout out to her stepping on that stage. And you're right. I'm not sure who else might have been on a sold out Madison Square Garden stage. South African artist. I think the only person I can think of outside of music is Trevor Noah. Via his comedy, I know he sold out a few shows that side. But music wise, second to none. I don't know.
Second to none. Shout outs to show, man. Whether you're a supporting act or not, the fact that you're on that stage, we salute you, my sister.
Absolutely.
And also coming back into the game, like you said, she had taken a hiatus. She was going through some personal stuff. She had also lost some family members. So I think for her, she needed to kind of regroup. But it's good to also come back with such a positive run. Big ups to her team also for making sure that she's on places like that. Also taking international stages. Zakes Bantwini officially nominated for a Grammy, along with Nomcebo, Zikode, and Vota Kelaman for their tune as well. We've got another one, who's kind of trying to get that golden horn, man. Everybody wants to make sure that they take that thing home. So yeah, man. Big ups.
No, trust me. And the nice thing about it is that we're getting into these spaces from even different angles, different music spaces. Because even the song that they did, it's with a person who plays flute, right?
Yeah.
He plays flute. Yeah. Those type of collaborations, I think those are great to see. From our artists, especially with international guys. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, man.
And absolutely. Big up to him and his team as well. And I hope they bring it home, man. Everyone wants a golden horn. That sippy cup,
Yeah.
To put it on the mantle there. I'm sure yourself must be done.
Myself, I've been eyeing it.
That's now the pressure's on.
The pressure's on.
You gotta throw that production value all the way outside there. They must know you there by the stage. And that's the beautiful thing about being involved in all these other aspects of music. Like you're saying, it can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
So just, you may be a guy who may be known for hip hop, but tomorrow, because you got the production skill, you can find yourself on any track with any other artists out there. So it'll be good to see how far the wings can spread.
Yes.
Guys, don't sleep on collaborations, eh?
Yeah.
Do not sleep on collaborations. Even if it's just songwriting, even if it's, because I've seen a lot of artists who do songwriting and are nominated as well for Grammys. If you look at the Grammys and you look at the production credits, it's not just one person,
Of course.
It's not just one guy.
I know Anatis also had one of those.
Yes. So don't sleep on production credits and songwriting and contributions in musical pieces, because that can go a long way.
Yeah.
I love that. And we speak about that a lot on the show. And I'll ask you just now, just off the bat, because you're known for your production, like I said.
Yeah.
People collaborating is, for me, it's like the apex of music. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get the best quality out. Do you think we're doing that? Like when you listen to the music that's out there, you can tell when there's one guy in studio, or you can tell when there's like 5, 6 people who are like, let's get that thing together. Do you think we're doing enough of that to bring the quality out?
I think we're not doing enough, but there is definitely a culture of that. I mean, I look at the 2 singles that are like topping the charts right now, Lemons and Sete.
Yeah.
If you look at the production credits on there, you know, you got a whole host of guys, you know, AKA put a whole host of guys. They went on camp.
Yeah.
They did a music camp. They sat down with a whole host of musicians. I know Uzedok was there.
Of
guys
course.
like Baby San, you understand? Even on Sete's side, you know, you have writers that you wouldn't even think about, you know, like Manu Wallstar, you know?
Yeah.
Like people behind the scenes who are writing, who are composing, who are putting it together. Like, so I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I also like that you're mentioning how many different people are in one song, because I think everybody, especially in hip hop, they've got this facade where you need to sit down and be like, KO must write his own parts.
Yeah.
Blackie must write his own parts. Young Stunner must just, you know, and it's like, guys, there's nothing wrong with collaboration. We need to get rid of this ghostwriting thing and say, no, you can't have a ghostwriter because you don't have now the street cred that you're supposed to have.
Hip hop.
Of course, you know what I mean?
These people can rap. When they need to freestyle, then yes. If it's a freestyle, by all means, they must write their own freestyle. But when it's musicality, when you're trying to make a hit, when you're trying to make sure the song takes it to the top, the more hits, the better.
And you know what? Sorry, go for it.
No, I feel the same way. When it comes to rap, shama cipher sharp. You know? Yes, cool. But then when it comes to making hit music and chart music, right? There's people who actually specialize in making those type of melodies and making those type of like composition. And I feel like even in the corporate spaces of music, we know this. That's why we'll have a top liner.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we'll have a songwriter, you know. Songwriter. No. There's guys for that.
Yes.
There's guys, there's producers, you know, there's directors who direct the music, you know, coaches. Yeah, I feel like it's a whole host of like, you know, people, a team, you know.
Absolutely, and it comes through in the quality. Like tracks that you just mentioned. In hip hop, we do get caught up a lot, and we're all guilty of it. I know I am. I'm just talking about the bars all day, talking about who bested who on the track. Nasty has the best verse, and then that becomes the conversation. Then it makes it look like that's what it was. Like somebody pressed play, they beat, they rapped, and then they went home. When you look back, and like AKA himself said, he's like, yeah, sure, Nasty may have. I acknowledge that he has the best version of the song. I love it. I put it there. It's his song, by the way. But it's like, you know, I put the song together. I produced, I co-produced it. I helped A, B, and C. I put the team together. So yes, off the bat, you made it be like, oh, great mind for AKA to put everybody in the same room so that this quality can come out. Everything gets drowned out when we just say, Nasty has the best verse, finished that. Like we're talking about Eminem killed Jay-Z that time, finished. This is like, okay, you can say, you may have a favorite verse and you're allowed to, as a fan especially, but I think if we're going to show respect to the entire production of the music, then it's very important that we speak about the entire thing. So it can encourage other people to do the same. Because then everybody goes to the bar. That's why sometimes you see certain missing qualities. Because everybody is hearing what the fans are saying and be like, I'm going to just go here, rap, and then come out and be like, so you love my verse, right? It's like, yeah, cool, but your melodies is missing.
The hook is missing. You understand? Or maybe it's good to, Ian, do you think it's a financial thing? Do you think maybe that's not enough money to put these teams together?
It's not a cheap affair, no doubt about it.
Yeah, because it's not a cheap affair.
But I feel like if you're used to doing collaborations, you know, I mean, most people will say, instead of making music, will tell you they started with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just you and your friends, perhaps, in your bedroom, sharing beats, getting verses. So that collaboration starts early already. And people are kind of having an understanding of, at least when you're on the come up, I'm going to give of myself as much as I can. I'll see the money later. Now, of course, for more established artists, a little bit different. People are like, yo, you got to cut me my check. You got to make sure, give me my credit. But I feel like if people give yourself a little bit of leeway, I think you can have conversations. Bring people in and say, okay, this is what I can afford. This is where I see the money. This is where I see the value. This is where I can add. This is where later on get your credit, and then hopefully if it does well, you can still get paid after the fact.
100%.
I think negotiation, learning to talk to people, again, collaborations are just in the music. It's collaborating with people. You know what I'm saying? Being in circles, talking to people, introducing yourselves, being known as a guy who is open to new friendships and new relationships.
Yes.
That's collaboration itself before we even get to the studio. So if you're closed off, you don't know how to talk to people, that's another problem.
But that's the thing, like even with you mentioning where maybe it could be expensive, I don't think it has to be that expensive, because there's ways and means around people getting their credit. There's ways and means around royalties, payments, publishing. Outside of that, because the money could be made afterwards, after the song becomes a hit. Or also, you don't also have to work. I mean, there's a lot of talented people who haven't been on the come up as yet. So you, for instance, Dubs, you're one of those people who understands that, okay, this is my network. My people are still trying to build themselves. So let's build together. You don't necessarily have to sit back and be like, I need to work with Anati because he's the songwriter of the year. Yeah, you're going to pay that 80,000 if you want Anati. Do you know what I mean? So maybe work with somebody else who you know is a dope songwriter who's on the come up, and you guys can build together. You know?
I'm totally for that. I've always been a believer in that, to say, listen, even in your hood, even like wherever you are, maybe you might say, look, no, I'm far, I'm not in Joburg or anything. But even somewhere in your hood, there is somebody who's doing the same agenda as you, and who's got the same mission. You just gotta go and find them, and like people said, like you just gotta have like the skills of being able to network, you understand, and being able to find these people, And
I like that you bring that example. Actually, it's very important about people who are now saying resources, or they're far from Joburg, far from us, that they may want to collaborate. I'm like, we speak about opening and giving people opportunities. Give the people in your hood opportunities as well. Because people always tell you, hey, that man down Qatar is badass. That guy there is badass with the piano. That girl, she's got good vocals. You know what I'm saying? And they tell you, that guy has a mind for music, and he knows so much when you speak about him. So that's why somebody who's won't be involved in the making of the track, but he has a producer mind already. You must have the foresight to say, let me bring as much talent that's available to me, and then try to make that work. You don't have to, you may not be able to afford Rihanna, but who's the Rihanna Ukasiao? You know what I'm saying? Where's that raw talent that you must go unearth? Because that's just hard work. I get it, but you have the talent and the time, right? So make that work.
100%, man. So yeah, man, big ups to Zakes, Bantwini and Nomcebo for that one. Also, still speaking about awards, the South African Hip Hop Awards dropped a press release over the weekend saying an official statement that A-Reece is withdrawing from the Saha Awards. And he had a good run last year. I think he had won Mixtape of the Year as well as Lyricist of the Year at the 10th edition, which was last year. So he has been nominated for this year, but he has decided to kind of pull out of this year's awards. Now, do you think that's a good thing for him? Do you think that's a bad thing? Should we just continue with the awards the way that they are? Or, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Did they state why?
They didn't. I think A-Reece also didn't pretty much state why. I think he was just like, I don't want to be part of it. I'm withdrawing my submissions out. Tricking out.
Just like, I'm out. But I think maybe for a long time, A-Reece hasn't been on the awards, and it's been like a going debate of like he shouldn't be. Like all these fans, obviously, you know, they were pressing for it for the longest time, and then like you said, last year he got Lyricist of the Year. He got Lyricist of the Year. I think that was a big year for them because they were always like pushing for it. So he only joined 1 year, and then the next year he decided like, no.
I think once he had gotten it, he was just like, okay, I've proved my point.
I can do it.
I wonder what's going on there. Because we do know A-Reece to be a very quiet guy, recluse. He doesn't like to get involved in too much of the mainstream conversations, and you don't see him everywhere. So it's not surprising that A-Reece will take a step back in this type of situation. Who knows what may have caused it? Maybe he just doesn't want to be part of the conversation. Maybe he finds it distracting. Maybe somebody annoyed him. Like, we never know, because again, he never gives us the opportunity of like that clarity. So we're left to guess as to what might have happened. Whether it could be something, like I said, it may be annoyed by something, or it's as simple as this is a distraction to me and I don't want to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
He seems to do that with a lot of his stuff within his brand, I think. And maybe we're all having to figure out that maybe this is just who he is. He wants to release the music, and us constantly trying to force him to do other things, it's not going to happen.
No, A-Reece, my interview.
No, he doesn't want that thing. I've learned the hard way. I can personally say I've tried to get him interviews. I've tried to, radio edits, to play his music on certain platforms. And it's not to say that we haven't tried because we love his music. It's just maybe he is making that decision for himself that he doesn't want. Music is out, that's what you must consume. He'll jump on whatever stages he feels like jumping on. It's Pumindabin.
It's very strange.
I know I'm too much for these awards. Listen. But do you guys think that it's actually good, like, for an artist to do that? Like, is it good to, does it create exclusivity? Like, because
I don't know. Do you know what? My constant fight with regards to those decisions was always not to say that I have any issue with it. I just think for the fans want more.
Yeah.
The fans want to see you doing brand collaborations, going on radio interviews, jumping on big stages, winning awards, because they want to celebrate you. The same way they celebrate your music, they want to celebrate with you taking all of these awards, because for them, it feels like they're winning with you. So pulling out of something like this, I think, is tricky for the fans now, because then they're like, how, my brother, how can we say you're the best if we can't even say you're going to win this award?
True.
Yeah, it's difficult for the fans, I know, because and you are right, his fans, we all know, they'll defend him to the death, you know what I'm saying? And he's had such a great music output over the past year and a half, you know what I'm saying? He's dropped about 3 projects, if I'm correct. One with his brother, and then a couple by himself, one last year, and then another quite recently. So he's got a lot of music out there for his fans. On that front, they're satisfied in terms of like his output, at least. So him not participating in these awards, I think more about the awards themselves, more so on A-Reece. Like, it can have personal things, because the SA Hip Hop Awards have come very far, you know what I'm saying? From never being taken seriously at the beginning, to people not wanting to submit, whatever, to all the big artists coming together and say, you know what, we gotta show this thing, that's our thing, all the love, and inject as much content into it as possible, so that our industry can be seen as, you know what I'm saying, we take ourselves seriously first before we go out and cry and say, why is nobody giving hip hop a chance when hip hop itself doesn't give itself a chance? So I think for that fact, there's a bigger conversation about, let me keep giving the hip hop machine as much as it needs, because as much as there's so much, it's come so far and it's made a lot of people a lot of money, there's still such a bigger market to consume and to fight for out there. And all this comes from the artists who are very well established, very well supported. Because he comes in there with his fan base, you know what I'm saying?
With his fan base.
He injects their votes, he injects their attention into the awards as well. So when he takes it out, it kind of takes them with him a little bit.
True, and it makes it exciting as well. Like, you know, for the culture, like they say, for the culture, you know, for the culture. It makes it exciting, you know, things like this, you know. But do like, I feel like maybe a lot that recently it hasn't gotten a lot of support, SA hip hop. I'm not really too sure why. I would like even for more of the industry to support it, you know, support SA hip hop, the awards, because like you said, it is one of those things that like shows that we take ourselves seriously, you understand? Like with those awards, we are able to bring attention even to the genre itself in SA. Like the more there's more competing artists who are on there, that's good, that's conversation, you understand? It's like, oh, who's taking it? Who's this? Oh, the song of the year, you know? Or maybe I got Tolang in song of the year, I don't know.
And also it builds the artists as well. The artists who do get nominated, the ones who actually win, can now go into rooms and say, yo, I'm lyricist of the year, you better take me seriously. Do you know what I mean? So it adds a little bit of clout. So I think people need to, you know, support just a little bit more, as we've all mentioned. And I don't know, get behind the bandwagon, guys. We'll see how this one kind of rolls through.
Let's have a fight in the house. But don't not show up to the crib. Get in the crib, let's lock the door, let's talk about this thing.
I mean, come on.
Another interesting one, sorry, just to got you, is Blackie. Who on the Song of the Year like topic
nominated 6 times.
What
6 songs.
I mean, that's
at some point he has to be winning something. He's gonna be on that stage.
That was like
out of 10 songs, he's on 6 of them. I said fully work rate.
He's not making. He's been a big absolutely big up. He's been a big pioneer and of hip hop at a time where hip hop was getting a lot of slack. He's one of those guys who was able to like push through and encourage everybody else in hip hop to be like, okay, we've got some momentum. You know, you can get behind one guy, and then the rest of you catch a slipstream, and then you start dropping music around somebody else, creating hype out of it. Because it was I would say not just hip hop hype. He broke through into other genres as well. So that has helped hip hop without a doubt, and it's evident in the nominations.
Shout outs to Blackie. Shout outs to hip hop. for taking your space back. Let's take it to the top 2023. I beg. Please, guys, let's do the right thing. All right, talking about hip-hop festivals that are also doing big things, we do have a Fill Up Mafikeng that is happening on the 3rd of December. And of course, Cotton Fest is happening on the 10th of December out in Cape Town. So what I love about these festivals also is that they're also kind of creating employment for the youth. Recently, Fill Up has actually mentioned that they're going to have an internship program as well, where they're going to be hiring a couple of kids, I think, from Mafikeng as well.
Yeah.
Do you think this is something that a lot of events could possibly kind of create more employment as time to come to also, build more people in specific communities, even though it's temporary? You know what I mean? Good or bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. In terms of even like you're saying internships, it was great to see. It's great to see events calling even young kids to say whoever has skill sets in this certain area, please come forward. You understand? Let's get you experience as well. You understand? Because this is a big event. Let's not lie. A Fill Up has a lot of accreditation behind it. A Cotton Fest has a lot of accreditation behind it. You understand? This is a big event. This is something you can also take and put on your CV and say, listen, I worked at Cotton Fest, and say it's one of the events that I did. You understand? So I think it's a great thing. Yeah.
How do we ensure that this thing kind of rolls over to other festivals? Because sometimes you also feel like people want to intern, they want to work out, they want to, have that experience where they can add it to their CVs, but they just don't have these opportunities, or they don't know where to go to speak to specific festivals.
First of all, shout out to Casper and the entire team putting this together. It's a big production. It involves a lot of people. It creates a lot of jobs every time it's whichever city it goes in for that weekend that they're around or whatnot. So off the bat, it's a beautiful thing. It's a very positive thing. Cotton Fest, the exact same compliment to them, as well as Homecoming Picnic. You know what I'm saying? They do the exact same thing every year. They have interns that come and stay. They work there for there it's a years long program. You know what I'm saying? For guys to literally have work and experience and grow in the industry. So it's a positive thing, and we hope that it encourages other festivals, no matter how big or small, to always bring, doesn't matter, a couple of people in just to get that experience, especially if you think about the hoods outside of Joburg, they don't get a lot of opportunity for things like this. Fill Up going to Mafikeng, where Casper's from, is a very, very big deal. It's a big deal for Mafikeng. It's a big deal for that stadium that's very underutilized. The city itself has taken task of revamping some things around, just some small, because people are concerned and say, look, the stadium and the structure is there, but there's some things we need to touch up here and there, security. I saw
they were cleaning the streets. I saw some image where they were started
it's a positive thing, because now everyone's going to go down there and they'll have great things to say about the show, but they'll have things to say about the town itself. And they'll be like, there was missing this, those are the potholes. It's in my hometown, I know. You know what I'm saying? So those things put a spotlight on the government immediately. Now everybody's going to be here. So just but people from Mafikeng who are going to cry, so it's going to have a spotlight, and some things will be negative. So even what Casper is doing here, understand what it's bigger than just Fill Up itself. Putting eyes on, it's like, when this business coming at home, the mom starts saying, hey, bring out the nice, put this glass away, the broken one. Wear your nice t-shirt.
Christmas clothes.
Start cleaning up a little bit. So the city will do that, but in doing that, and the more of these things that keep going to smaller towns, it means that injection of let's do better. Let's keep cleaner streets. Let's cut the grass out here. Small things like that. With service delivery, I speak to. It spotlights when smaller towns happen like this, and it can only improve them. On the greater part of music paying internships, I say do more. Always bring people into your space where you can create a little bit of experience and let them learn. Kids, they just want to be around these certain things.
And also what it helps with as well is that it's also going to decrease a bit of the crime that's happening at the events. Because you'll find that some of the kids...
Hey, you never know.
It's a slope.
But I'm saying in the sense that the same kids who would generally be outside running amok, trying to figure out how to sneak into the event, trying to figure out how to mess it up, are the ones who are maybe going to get into the internship and rather learn something as opposed to being involved in doing stupid things. So it's an opportunity for them to also say, let me do something different this time around. Do you know what I mean? So there's a good thing to kind of look at this one as well. So big ups to Fill Up, big ups to Cotton Fest for constantly looking at the youth and bringing up their employment. And of course, just that tick on the CV. The people who are creating a bit of turmoil, though, for the rest of the world, and we're trying to figure out how they got this one on their CV, was definitely Qatar. And how they won this tender.
This one is a tricky one.
My brothers and sisters. If you've watched that documentary on Netflix, go trickyana, go FIFA.
I know that one is a tricky one. Like I won't lie, it's a tricky. Like everybody, like when I'm reading the comments of everybody who's there, it's just a whole debate on this hospitality thing that you're talking about. Actually, you know, because actually it's supposed when you call another. I mean, there's 50-50. Some people are saying their rules, so they dictate what needs to happen, right? Some people are saying no. If you call people and you invite them, you should know what to expect. You're expecting people from different ethnicities, people from different cultures who are going to come in. You should be able to accommodate that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts now?
It's very tricky. I mean, basic human rights are basic human rights. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to debate whether people should be allowed to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? For example, the conversation about, being gay in Qatar is like, is illegal.
Yeah.
But it's not just Qatar. There are other countries, 1 in 4 countries that are participating in the World Cup have banned homosexuality in their own countries. So if we're going to attack Qatar, we just keep the same energy and make sure that everybody who's involved, we say, Ghana, we see you too.
Yeah.
We've forgotten about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We point out all the other Arab nations, Saudi Arabia, we're talking to you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that conversation for me is pretty much done in terms of like, yes, we should. This tournament should go to places where everybody's allowed to be themselves, just off the bat. And if it doesn't, it just creates problems.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Never who can come, who can't come, who's free, who's scared. You know what I'm saying? That's just weird for a World Cup. It's just a weird energy to have.
But
you know what I mean?
That's exactly what my argument now is that obviously, if you know the backstory as to how they won the World Cup, they obviously bid for it because they wanted it to come to their country.
Sure.
How are you going to bid for it and you know that the world is full of fiends and then you don't want those fiends to come to your country, but you're going to say, no, we're the ones who are going to host it. You can't open up your doors and then give people restrictions.
The problem starts with FIFA itself. When FIFA itself, we're expecting morality and maturity and understanding from an organization that doesn't have these qualities. You know what I'm saying? This is a corrupt organization. FIFA is not some Sunday league place where you come, everybody's friendly, everybody's welcome. No, these guys are about money.
Yeah, I think that's all the agenda was. It was about money.
Yep.
I think they overlooked the strictness of the country, the rules and everything. They overlooked that completely. Because I mean, I saw things like, I don't know if there's a poster that said no dating, no alcohol.
So apparently you can't go into a hotel unless you are married. So you can't go into a hotel. You thinking you've gotten a nice sneaky link for the night. No, they're going to prosecute you for that. Number one. Number two, for me, it's very tricky because we all know that the World Cup sponsor. Alcohol sponsor is Budweiser. Yeah. They've been the alcohol sponsor for the World Cup for the past, I don't know how many years. This is awkward now. They also found out, weirdly, like 2 days before the World Cup.
But they didn't like it now.
Okay, tricky. Now how are they going to sell if they're the sponsor at a country that's not allowing alcohol? They even posted, they were like, well, this is awkward.
Like we on the poster. We on the poster.
It's us.
It's us. This is us. Yeah.
It's so strange. Now they're selling it offsite, the alcohol, not in the stadiums. It's weird.
Now you must go to a fan park without a beer.
To go drink. I'm sure they're probably limiting drinks there. It's
There's
weird.
no alcohol.
So you're telling me everybody in the stadium is sober?
Yes.
They're not selling in the stadiums. They've got offsite places where you can go buy, but it can't come anywhere near the stadium, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? Is what I'm saying. The outside places are the only places in the stadium itself and in around the stadium park. It's non-alcoholic drinks. So
sober.
That's weird. Basically, you can only drink at a bar somewhere or some shit like that, and then you must come pre-game. You know, pre-game. By the time you don't watch Messi, you don't even know what's going on. You don't know what's going on now because you're so serious about your pre-gaming. You wanted to last 90 minutes. You're toasted now.
You don't even make it to halftime.
To me, that's more dangerous. That's what kids used to do when they're not allowed to bring alcohol somewhere. You're at home, you make sure that you drink. When you get to the venue, maybe you can have one drink for balance. You know what I mean? So anyway, the whole World Cup in Qatar for me is just, it was strange from the time they got it. It was only going to get stranger after the fact. We can sit here and discuss all the problems, but the main problem is that FIFA is a corrupt organization. They only deal with money. This World Cup can go anywhere. From here, you might see this thing in North Korea. Nothing is off the table with these guys. They are unscrupulous. You know what I mean?
It gets worse.
It can only get worse. I mean, it was just in Russia now. What Putin doing is just bombing every week. You know what I mean? So they have and they took it in the 60s or 70s to Argentina when a dictator was in charge at that time. So FIFA has no history of doing the right thing.
They don't care. They don't care. They just want the money.
Maybe we need to petition for it to be taken away from FIFA. I don't know.
No,
they need to figure out another way.
I think we live in these times now where if you make a mistake and you can't come for Sipo, and then Sipo is drinking sponsored by Coca-Cola, you say Coca-Cola. Limbarian. You see what he's busy with. And then Coca-Cola says, take the money. And then Sipo starts behaving. Right? Because now he's scared. He's going to lose endorsements. He's going to lose money. So with FIFA, we must come and take the same way. FIFA exists because of sponsorships. So now we must pause 1 second and say, Adidas, Kanye West, he was battling last week. You said cut the deal. But you're the main sponsor with FIFA there. And you're endorsing all these things. Let's talk about the bigger issue. Go to the withdraw from FIFA. Budweiser, these guys don't even allow you to sell alcohol. What are you doing here? Pick it up. Let's go home. McDonald's, whoever.
Come back to South Africa.
If FIFA starts losing ssponsorships from all these countries, then they'll be like, what did you guys say again? Oh, you say you don't want it to be here. We don't want to bring it here.
I didn't hear. I wouldn't understand.
That's actually a very good point. That's the only way to manage.
The only way to control FIFA is to control their money.
That's true. Hey, I don't know. It's going to be tricky, but you know what? We're going to keep watching the World Cup. 4 games a day.
Yay! It's war in the house, man. The TV channel doesn't change. By the time she wakes up, she just sees Messi on the screen the whole day.
Yo, I would be striking. I would like to, no ways, there's no.
I wish I could pay for one channel for the next 28 days. That's the only channel we need.
That's a soccer overload. I'm not gonna lie to you. But hey, you know what? We're gonna be surviving it. We're gonna
predictions.
See
actually,
how those 5 festivals gonna come together. You guys are jamming.
I'm seeing a Brazil.
There we go.
A Brazil. Let me say Brazil-Portugal final.
Really?
I feel like, yeah.
I don't know. You know what? I'm basing it on what the masses are saying, and everybody's saying it's either going to be Brazil who is taking this one. So I think my money's kind of on them just from a safety perspective. But one thing I know about the World Cup is that sometimes it also shocks you.
Of course.
I mean, there's a lot of shockers.
Saudi Arabia, they say, one of those sneaking.
They say public holiday.
Japan came through, they say, so anything can happen out here. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. But I mean, me personally, I think I'm definitely behind Brazil. I've always been a fan of I've always supported Brazil at World Cups where South Africa wasn't there, which is most World Cups. So it's very easy.
Except 2010.
Except 2010 when they said, in Qatar now, there's 6s and 9s. They don't know what's going on. Those guys, I don't think they even play football. I think they even created, that's why they created all these stadiums. They created those, they created 12 people.
Right there on the spot.
Hey, Mohammed, come here. Hey, Ahmed, come on, play. Those guys don't know what they're doing. I don't know if you guys watched the opening game, but it's bad. It's very, very bad.
It's tricky.
So there's no chance that they'll make it out of the World Cup, out of the group stage already.
So it's Brazil and?
In terms of like who, in the final.
Yes.
I'm gonna hope and pray for, even though Argentina lost the first game, a Brazil-Argentina final.
Yeah. I think that would be nice, for both South American teams to kind of be
to see Ronaldo and Messi at their last World Cups. Both have never won the World Cup. To see them battle for it, for the king. Let's settle this argument, right?
Yeah.
Once and for all.
Kill the debate.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Shout outs to them. But I don't know. We're going to keep on seeing. You can also give us some of your predictions on the comments. Just hit us up and let us know who you think is going to take it. All right. With that, we are going to jump straight into our favorite part, the unpopular questions. So we're going to get our favorite hat. Oh, okay. Box. Never mind. From our producer for today, Dubs. Take out a question and you're going to answer as honestly as possible.
Am I looking inside or not?
No, just
pull one out and then you can read it to us.
Out.
Should have the light.
We also haven't seen it, so should have Dizzy will fix it in post.
Okay, let's go. This is
so we also haven't seen these questions. We don't even know what's in that box.
Okay, this one is a good question.
We're going to be just as shocked as you are.
This is the one.
Okay.
This is the question. Would black coffee kill a hip hop beat?
You should tell us.
I mean, I'm afraid to, I don't think so.
Why do you think so? Why do you think that?
He produced a a rapper's album.
Yeah.
You know, Drake, you know, he produced Drake's album, and there was a lot of mixed emotions about that album. You know, people were saying, ish, you know, shout out for Black Coffee, but we can't listen to it. But shout out, you know, you know. So I think dance, perfect.
Yeah.
Dance music, perfect. I don't know about hip hop. But
you don't think he can stretch himself that far?
Maybe also figuring out. I don't know, but
do you know what I think the feedback around Drake's album wasn't necessarily to say that they couldn't listen to it. I think they were just confused because they're just like, what's Drake doing? I think a lot of the flack was around like, my brother.
What's Drake?
What are you doing, my brother? And I think it's also the same thing that hip hop does all the time. Hip hop puts people into a box and they say, you need to be in this box. Don't come out of this box. I appreciated the fact that he was trying different things. I appreciated the fact that he was stretching himself as an artist because he's an artist first before he is a rapper. So I obviously it's not my favorite album, but I could listen to it because I wanted to understand his artistry from that perspective. Now going back to the question about Black Coffee, I don't know if he could 100% make a hip hop beat, but I do think he could collaborate with somebody who could put together a really dope beat that could be a big hit song.
For him?
Well, I don't know who it would belong to, but as a producer, we would have to kind of see where it goes.
I think, I mean, look, if you understand music in its entirety, especially the production part of it, composition, all that, I think you could stretch yourself and you could find yourself playing with different types of melodies.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of producers themselves will tell us that, yes, I may produce one thing, but sometimes I play around just by myself to see, could I do this? Could I do that? I try a classical beat and I just leave it. It's just for me to, to keep experimenting. I think if he wanted to, he could stretch himself. Yeah. But I think he would need the right hip hop ears around him to help him guide. Because it's even like if like yourself, most of the music you produce is hip hop music.
It's hip hop, yeah.
And if somebody was to task you with doing dance music, I don't think you'd know nothing, but you'd probably think, I need somebody with a dance ear. If you yourself don't listen to dance music.
Yes.
So you don't know how much hip hop Black Coffee consumes. Because if he understands hip hop and he consumes it, then he can get into production and say, I can make something that sounds like this. But if it's not something that naturally comes to you, like I said, if you don't know classical music, but you know how to produce, then it's like, you're not going to make a classical song that has that sound. But maybe if you're already about that life and you consume that music, then you understand how it works. Then you be like, you know what? I think I can dial here because I already love the genre and I fucks with it in that way.
So do you see Black Coffee?
But I don't see Black Coffee
driving, listening to I don't know, 21 Savage. Just me and Mom.
I don't know if he's rapping along.
I can see listening to some maybe more old school hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Old school. Yeah, I don't know about the new school guys, but I mean, he's already fucks with Drake. I'm guessing he must love some of Drake's music.
So he must love hip hop in some way.
Yes.
You understand?
I remember actually, like, he has spoken in past interviews about enjoying a lot of local hip hop as well, and certain songs that he enjoys.
Yes, actually.
But I think for him, like you're mentioning, if you're not about the lifestyle, like you can listen, but I'm not too sure if you could actually make it. And it's also kind of fits into that conversation around DJs. Dabs, you know this as well. Hip-hop DJs, I think, are a little bit more versatile because we're kind of forced to play in all BPMs. Yeah. We need to be able to play songs in all the keys, whether it's the 70 BPM, 80 BPM to the 120, going through to the 160s. This is a very technical conversation. But house DJs kind of stick in one pocket. So if you're a piano DJ, you're literally staying in one pocket. You can only play in that pocket. So if you don't know how to stretch yourself and how to mix as quickly as we do as a hip-hop DJ, hip-hop DJs are able to move over to then play house because we have that skill set, because hip-hop has forced us to do that. Whereas with house, where you've got 7 minutes to mix a song and you're staying in the same bracket, you're not really stretching yourself a little bit. You know what I mean? So it would be easier for Dabs, for instance, who knows how to produce hip-hop, but he can also make piano in the same breath because he's got that skill set. Going the other way around is a little bit difficult.
Yeah, and I've always found that way. Definitely the versatility of hip-hop DJs and producers is widespreading. You know what I'm saying? And that's what hip-hop doesn't get a lot of flack.
For that, yeah.
Or people misunderstand hip-hop producers for a lot. The most versatile. more sampling. You can take any vocals anywhere. If a hip hop artist wants to make a song, they have limitless opportunities to bring things together. Whereas people in other genres, you never find like a nigga who makes who does the house suddenly starts rapping or suddenly starts do that. For them to do the inverse is always a bit harder. So to answer that question, I think personally, do I think Black Coffee can dala a hip hop beat?
So the question says, can kill a hip hop beat.
Kill a hip hop beat. I think kill is a no. I don't think he can kill a hip hop beat. I think
I do implore him.
Kill on the good side or the bad side?
I do implore him to prove us wrong. If he's watching this, Black Coffee, even though we might think the opposite, I challenge you to see if you can, you can prove us wrong. I will 100% bow down and say, okay, he did it.
Sure.
So let's see. I don't know. Maybe he can stretch himself and see what else what other ceiling he can kind of hit through. Because I mean, Black Coffee's just been going further up and up and up. Do this one. You've taken the whole country, my brother.
He actually is in a position to actually do an international artist with a local artist collab.
Yeah, because he's that guy. You know what I mean?
He can do that. I'm just saying.
So let's see what you got, my brother. All right, talking about music, we are jumping into brand new music that dropped this past week. So we have, again, hey, look at this. A piano collaboration with a hip-hop artist.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Kabza De Small and Kwesta who've got an EP that is going to be coming out. They've dropped 2 songs called, the EP is called Speak and Forstaan. 2 tracks on there. Did you listen to the tunes? Do you dig them?
Absolutely. I listened to the tunes as soon as I heard that Kwesta and Kabza De Small are collaborating to make an EP already, I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
And also, I like it.
Yeah.
The idea off the bat, I'm like, Kwesta is the kind of guy who would have the versatility to easily marry with the Kabza production, Kabza direction. So already before I even pressed play on anything, I was like, I'm excited to hear this. This sounds like a project that we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bumped the 2 tracks and I love them. You know what I'm saying? Kwesta sounds natural on there. It's as if they've done this many times before together. Nothing sounds like, in any of those 2 tracks. They both sound dope for the first summertime. I think I haven't heard Kwesta sound this good in a while. He sounds like himself.
Yeah. No, I even love it from Kabza's perspective as well, for him to actually like switch up and go very mid-tempo. You understand? I love that because we always used to Kabza on the piano realm and everything. I think he's got an alias. He's got a hip-hop alias, a rap alias.
One thing I can tell you, with all the piano artists that I've spoken to, they've all got hip-hop aliases. All of them at some point were some sort of a hip-hop artist, I don't know, on the come up before they decided let's go the dance route. So I'm not even shocked that Kabza has one.
No, but I love it. And I think even with piano producers as well, it's just another indicator that you can make more than just this piano genre. You can collaborate with other R&B singers and do R&B hits, like I'd like to hear that from even like guys like Mello and Sleazy, like collaborating, doing a pop hit, you understand, taking it to the next level, like
when we spoke to them at POPcast Goes To at Homecoming Africa, they actually both said they used to produce hip-hop before they got into piano. So my brothers, I'm still going to call you for that collab, don't worry about it. But talking about Kabza and Kwesta, Mkholo Waizolo is the one tune, and Papata Mangane, both of those tunes, I think, those guys, they definitely came together. It's as if they both said, okay, we're both from the hood, we're bringing the hood with us. Let's make sure that you guys understand that we're just some hood niggas making some hood music. And it comes through so well. The representation in the visuals, in the picture, the pictures that they've posted, the production, the sound quality, and of course, because Kabza is also just such a perfectionist when it comes to his music, you can hear he spent time making sure that if I release this thing, it's coming out the way it needs to come out. No one's gonna question it. So big ups to the guys, man. I can't wait to hear the rest of the EP. I'm sure it's going to be really dope. Somebody else who dropped a really hot collaboration this past week, AKA, with a track called Paradise. He's got Musa Keys on the tune. How are you feeling about the tune, guys?
Yes, I see even with this tune, he's almost as if like found this pocket of like, not found, but I mean, he's always been, Afro. Like I love the Afro elements that he's taking, and especially because right now the world's ears are open to Afro. You know, Afro is what it is, and the world's ears are open to it, and a lot of even hip hop artists are even getting into that type of space and style. You know, and I think I love the tune, how it came out. I love the collaboration. I never really saw it coming, like the Musa Keys. You know, but it worked out well actually.
Yeah, I think it worked out well as well. So far, I'm enjoying the track after bumping it a few times. I see what he's doing in terms of like going into December.
Yeah.
He's giving himself like, you know what I'm saying, like killing two birds with one stone. I can say he's already solidified his hip hop hit of the year. You know, it's going to carry him for a while. I'm guessing sometime next year. It says, is it Mass Country?
Mass Country, that's the album.
Mass Country is the album, so he's teeing us up for it. We had a solid hip hop track. That's samples a house beat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it has dance vibes to it. And then this one is even more dancey with Musa Keys. And I'm guessing, and the sound, I think it will be very easy on the ear for people to catch onto it for festivals, whatever, coming up in December. And it makes it very interesting to see where Mass Country might go, because you have these two tracks that are similar but different at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see which sound, like you mentioned earlier, Zadok has produced the first one and is producing and featuring on this one, Paradise, as well. I'm interested to see what the entire project will end up sounding like, and which sound they favor more in terms of like what that project ends up being. So it's very interesting.
From where we at right now, these two songs, I think it's gonna be a good project. I think we are geared up for a good AKA project.
Yeah. I'm just happy that we're back on track.
Yeah.
But brother, thank you. Wow, we've been waiting for this.
But it always takes that one song, right? You know what I'm saying? When people are busy knocking you because you're A-Reece, take that one song, bring your confidence back, let them know I'm still the guy.
Yeah.
And then now, based on that confidence, you're like, now I'm not going to make any mistakes. I must hit everything on the...
And I think he also felt it. He also knew.
He felt it.
He felt it as he's like, hey, maybe I took a left hand that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, it's fine. You were experimenting, and everybody's allowed to experiment. You've learned your lesson. Now we're back on track. Thank you. Thank you for getting back on track.
And shout out to him for the resilience over his career. Like, you know, like...
because some people would have given up by now. You're right.
Like, or take it in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say, it doesn't matter how many misses you may have or how many people may say, oh, you've switched up. The talent has always been there. You know what I'm saying? We know because we supported from the beginning and we've seen it. So if there's a switch up and an experimentation and people find you different pockets and they're like, what's this guy up to? As an artist who's really has the confidence and the talent, all you have to do is recalibrate and say, you know what? I know I'm going to get this right because I mean, the talent is obviously there. So instead of taking it in a bad way and regressing, and some people become start fighting it too much now. No, like this is the music I want to make. Take it or leave it type of situation. But he's better than that, and he's risen above the criticism to say, look, I found my pocket again. Let's move forward.
100%. So big ups to him. Big ups to Musa Keys also for jumping in a pocket like this. I think that's one thing I'm appreciating also about Musa Keys is that I know he's also willing to kind of dabble in different things. Yes, we know him for piano, but because he's originally an artist, a musician, playing the actual keys, somebody like that is able to kind of play around with different sounds as well. So, you know, this collaboration definitely for the summer, even with Jackie on the song as well, just to kind of, you know, bring that sweet sound from a vocal perspective. I love how it all came together. So shout outs, AKA Paradise. Got another one, my brother. Somebody who's also got a hot song that's just dropped is Yanga. The track is called Benjamins. He is featuring MT on this one and Henny be lit. Mr. Hip Hop,
Kosa Rap.
Yes,
is representing Kosa Rap. You know, I heard the tune. It's great. I love the fact that he's out of a lot of, because I was listening to it on the way on the drive, and then out of a lot of like rappers, like in the way he embodies the Kosa Rap, like it's like it's convincing. It's convincing. It's like you believe every word he says. Like you're just like you're there all the step of the way.
Effortless.
You know, it's effortless. Like he's got it. He's really got it. And I think from him, a lot of like the Kosa Rap like rappers who are coming up, like can I don't know, can get a vision of like of how to carry a song, you understand? Like, because he does it really well, effortlessly. Like, I love it. Shout
outs to Young Achievement, and I think he's also kind of found a pocket that he's trying to stay in. This song kind of reminds me a little bit of Intoni Na. And I think I think that's the type of lane that he's trying to do with a lot of this music. And not to say that it sounds exactly like it, but it's around the same energy, the same vibe. So I'm digging Benjamin's. Obviously, MT the hustler. I'm a number one fan here. So anything that MT jumps on, I'm already taken. So big ups to Younger Chief on this one. I'm loving the sound. I'm loving the energy. I actually want to hear the rest of the album and the direction he's going to take with it, because I think it is going to be a little bit more soulful, but also sticking to the meticulous Xhosa rap, effortless. You know, you want to hear me, you want to vibe with me, you want to make sure that the energy is right. It's going to be clean, man.
Absolutely love it, man. You have two guys here on this track. One has my favorite cadence in hip hop, which is Yanga. Yeah. The other one has my favorite flow, which is MT. So as soon as I see that, I'm like, these two guys together on the track. It's clean, it's neat, it's tidy. Yes. Yanga, like you said, I mean, he reimagined Xhosa rap for the game, and in so doing has inspired a lot of other Xhosa rappers that we have right now. So it's a beautiful thing to see him so comfortable in a language that wasn't so popular in rap. You know what I'm saying? Like he stuck to it for the longest time. He was just the guy who was collaborating with AKA, and we thought, what will happen with this guy? And for him to have had this moment to be so well established and to still stay there and still have it is very, very beautiful. Yeah. And even if you don't understand also all the way, you feel the vibes. You know what I'm saying? You feel the vibes. So yeah, man, I absolutely love the track. It's good to see him back as well with something new. I'm hoping for a dope project going into next year. Yeah, man. So far, I think hip hop listened. It got bashed for quite some time. And now everyone's just like, okay, here's my track. Here's my contribution. Here's and now we're flooded with some really, really dope projects teeing up for 2023. I think it's going to be exciting.
And that's what we need, actually. That's what we need. We need more records. We need more records. Like
work rate.
Yeah, work rate. Even the guys who even felt like, no, I dropped the song and it didn't do it. Like, you need to drop. Let's go. Let's go. You know?
Let's keep on dropping, man. And of course, because this is the summertime, this is the time we need to hear all of the music. But with that, we do have to then say thank you so much for joining us here on the POPcast. A big shout out to our guest for today, Must Be This.
Yo, shout out. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
you know?
Dabs, what are you up to for the summer so people can, pay attention and check you out?
Okay, so summers, we're gonna be doing a lot of like gigs this summer. I can just feel it. Like,
who are you rolling with?
Different gigs. Different gigs. For example, we're gonna be in Kenya.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're going to be in Kenya from the 8th to the 12th.
Okay.
And then, obviously, then we also have other tours that are happening, Durban, Cape Town.
Nice.
Yes. And also, not to forget to mention the Extreme this coming weekend as well in Durban. We're going to be Extreme regional finals.
Yeah.
That's
dope. That's dope. Shout outs to you, man. And Sipho, enjoy the summer, my brother.
I will, man. Shout out to you guys. I know the love and support that you've been showing the POPcast team this year. Shout out to the guys behind the cameras. Always rocking, doing best. This is our final one for the year. But like we said, pop radio interviews to come up. And so far, you've been loving it. We've given you guys Flame. We've given you guys Magla, Dope Boy. A few more to come during the December holidays for you to chill and just, listen to the stories behind the music a little bit.
Yes, indeed. We've got some really awesome interviews that we've lined up for December. So don't fret. There is still something that's going to be dropping every single Tuesday here on this channel, 7 p.m. Make sure you join us for Pop Radio. Those interviews are fire. POPcast will be back in January, mid-Jan. So make sure that you join us for, we've got a little something, up our sleeves. So we're going to be making sure that it comes through fire and it's going to be hot in the next year. And of course, we are going to be checking out a couple of festivals in December as well for POPcast goes to.
Yes,
so look out for that. You guys seem to be enjoying a lot of that content. So we're going to try our best to bring a little bit more of that throughout the summer. So just look out for that. But with that, we're going to love and leave you. Keep on liking, subscribing, commenting.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Following, doing the right things. We're still here, POPcast for real, every Tuesday.